Izzy's. Yeah. Legislative Day number 1 will now come to order. Please rise for a moment of silent meditation, and I would ask in particular for several kids that unfortunately were hit in a pedestrian accident in Essex, so definitely wanted to pray for them. I will now call upon Councilman Patoka, who will introduce the Scout Troop, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I'm proud to welcome Troop 319. Come on up front, fellas. Remember, we're on TV. We got to do this really good. Big smile, fellas, from Councilman Catch. You guys look good. I'll tell you, this is one good-looking group of young men. Okay, whenever you guys are ready. Yes?
I have a problem.
Yes.
The Yankees captain.
Wait. Who's got that Yankees cap?
You want to take off your hats in?
So, this is democracy, fellas, because Councilman Crandall and I, we sometimes disagree on issues, but on this issue, we're solid. No Yankees caps in the council. All right, go ahead, fellas. Lead us in the pledge. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Excellent, guys. Way to go.
I will now ask the Secretary to conduct the election for the office of Chair of the County Council for 2020.
Mr. Chairman, pursuant to Section 302A of the County Charter, the County Council, at its first regular session in each calendar year, is required to elect from its membership by a vote of the majority of the total number of council members established by the Charter, a chairperson who shall preside at all meetings. I will now take nominations from the members for the election of the Chair of the Baltimore County Council for the calendar year 2020. Mr. Chair, it's my understanding you do have a nomination.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. I would like to nominate and move Kathy Bevins as our chairwoman for the year 2020. Actually, this would make history. This is would be Kathy's third time as chairperson, and that would make history as the first time a woman's been chair for 3 different times. And she's obviously very tenacious. She's a fighter for her district. I think everybody that knows Kathy knows that she really puts constituent service first and foremost. Whoever calls her office, they get called back, and she does her very best to try to service her constituents from all walks of life. And she's a person, a great friend with a lot of integrity. I say that Kathy passes the foxhole test. You know, when bullets are flying, you got to say, who do you want in the foxhole along with you? Well, Kathy Bevins surely fits that bill. And so it's definitely a great honor of mine to nominate Kathy Bevins as our chairwoman for 2020.
And it's my honor to second the nomination. Both the chairman and I have served on the council now for almost 10 years. We are the 3 remaining veterans from the class of 2010. Councilwoman Bevins always lets you know where she stands, and she's taken on some difficult issues, such as background checks. She also served on the county executive's task force looking at public safety issues and for our police chief. I think that's a good expertise to have as we tackle issues over the coming year. So it is my honor to second the nomination.
Mr. Mr. Chair, I too would like to nominate Kathy Bevins
Is
for
that a
chair.
third?
That's a third. And I echo everything that was said tonight. I find Kathy to be a very tenacious, hard worker for her district. I think she's very sensible in all of her measures and all the things she put forth in her way of thinking. And I just think she will be an excellent chair, as she has been in the past, and is refreshing to see that she will be the first woman to be a chair for 3 times. That's very impressive. So it's my honor to nominate her as well.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I have some remarks as well.
Councilman Crandall.
Sure. Kathy, do you have your umbrella? 'Cause I'm going to rain on your parade.
Go ahead. I'm ready. Not real tough.
And my remarks are not meant to start the year on an acrimonious level. And I do want to say that Councilwoman Bevins and I, although we don't agree all the time, and we've had some knockdown dragouts over the last 5.5 years or so, we get along well. We work together well. We have legislation that we're both working on, along with Councilman Patoka, that will be introduced in the next month or so, something like that. I can always trust Kathy to tell me the truth, and my remark that I'm going to make now is certainly no reflection of you or actually the performance of any other chair. So please take it that way. I think the process by which that we choose a chair of the council is flawed. No Republican is even mentioned. We're not brought into the conversation. It is not a bipartisan process. We have a tenured council member in Councilman Marks. We have a legislator on the council who has served his constituents for how long, Wade? 40 years. And 45 years. And we're not even brought into the discussion on who the next chairperson is going to be. And it seems to me that it's predetermined. And I just think that we could, as a collegial body, and we tend to work together very well, I think that we could go through this process a little bit differently in the future. And again, this is no reflection upon Councilwoman Bevins. I think the remarks that Councilman Jones and Quirk and Marks have made are right on the money, and I'm going to vote for you, and I'm going to support you. I just think that the process could be better and more collegial, considering the type of body that we are.
Start to say something nice.
I said a lot of nice things.
Councilman Patoka.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to share some thoughts as we prepare to elect a new council chair. A few days ago, I sent my colleagues on the council some thoughts and observations on issues and concerns based on what I believe the council should consider moving forward into 2020. It would make us stronger, all of us, including our respective team members. These thoughts are based not only on my experience here as a council member, but also looking at best practices that I've been exposed to in my work in local government, state government, and in the nonprofit sector, specifically in leadership positions. I also share some thoughts on what I believe are appropriate activities for a 21st century governing body. I hope that each of you had an opportunity to look them over. I know that I'm called the new guy, and sometimes less flattering descriptions. Nonetheless, I'd like to make a request. As we cast our vote today, I would like the elected chair to consider, and I have faith that she will consider, those items that I presented to my colleagues. I did not share those concerns with reckless intent, but the intent was for us to be a strong governing body. I believe there's room for improvement for all of us. We're a great council. I believe that. Let's not restrict ourselves from being the best. Thank you for giving me a few minutes to share my thoughts.
Any other questions, comments, thoughts? Mr. Secretary, can you call the roll, please?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Mr. Quirk,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mr. Catch.
Aye.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Marks,
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall.
Aye.
Congratulations, Madam
Thank
Chair.
you. Well, before I start my new position as chair, I would like to first present Councilman Quirk with, this is your second gavel? Or your
My third?
It's his third, yeah. Three's a lucky number tonight. By the Baltimore County Council for dedicated service as Baltimore County Council Chairman for 2019. So Tom, this is from all of us on the council. And I just want to say, you know, this job, whether you're the chair or not the chair, it's an easy job to do when everything's going well. What's going on down there, Adam?
They're changing the signs.
And, but it's through difficult times, and when difficult decisions have to be made is when you really have to stand up and be the person that you were elected to be. And I have to say, Councilman Quirk, this year, we had to make some tough decisions, and with you as the chair. And you did what you needed to do. You brought us together. You worked with the administration, and I feel like we really got things done. Tom and I have been serving together since 2010, and we've also had some bumps in the road, but again, we are in each other's foxholes.
Okay.
And, you know, we're in it for the right reasons, and we really do care about everybody up here on the dais and really work hard for our constituents. And Tom, it just works tirelessly in Catonsville and Arbutus and all the other areas that he represents. And we're really grateful for your leadership, Tom. I appreciate you as a friend and somebody here on the council, and thank you for all your work
Thank
this
you.
year.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Congrats.
So first, I would just like to say thank you. I want to thank all my colleagues for their confidence. Councilman Batoko, I did read your email, and I'm certainly willing to sit down and speak with you with some of the concerns that you have. And I just appreciate all the support and giving me another opportunity to be the chair of the county council. I don't take this position lightly, so thank you so much. I look forward to working with the administration and with County Executive John Oshesky. I look forward to working with our administrative staff. And Mr. Secretary, this is the first time that we will be working together as you as the council. Yeah, that's
Yes,
the
ma'am.
secretary, right?
Thank you very much. And
Right. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
Me too. Thank you.
Is there a motion to approve the journal for the meeting of December 16th?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The journal is approved. Enrollment of bills, Bills 6519 and 6619 were passed by the council, signed by the executive, and are hereby enrolled. Mr. Secretary, will you now read all bills for introduction?
Madam Chair, there are two bills for introduction this evening. Bill 1-20 is at the request of the administration, entitled Personnel Law of Baltimore County, and Bill 2-20 is sponsored by Councilman Patoka. It is entitled Assembly Areas Capital Improvement and Capital Construction Assistive Listening System Requirements.
And is that the first item?
Yeah, those
Okay.
are the only two items for introduction this evening.
Madam
Okay.
The only two bills.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Thank you. For the sake of a teachable moment for Troop 319, that bill that we just introduced is the one we talked about in the plum room, about assistive listening devices for people with hearing impairment. So this is how a bill gets introduced. This is the first step. Thank you.
Very good.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
I was neglectful earlier, but I just want to take an opportunity to thank Councilman Quirk for an excellent job as chairman last year. We certainly appreciate your leadership and stewardship of the council during last year. It's been it's been a nice, smooth ride, despite the turbulent weather we went through.
Thank you very much.
There was no crash landing.
There's no crash landing.
No crash landing. Fiscal matter 1, Mr. Walsh is here to testify.
That's correct, Madam Chair. Fiscal Matter 1 is a contract, a purchase order with Mid-Atlantic Industrial Construction, LLC, for Industrial Master Mechanics Maintenance Central Acceptance Facility.
Good evening, Mr. Walsh.
Madam Chair Bevins, congratulations.
Thank you.
Members of the council, Happy New Year. Good evening. We are requesting your consideration of a purchase order with Mid-Atlantic Industrial Construction in the amount of $63,850. They are going to provide manpower for the replacement of conveyor belt number 101 at our single-stream recycling facility in Cockeysville. You may know that the equipment up at that facility is best-in-class European equipment named Bolograph equipment. It was purchased through Van Dyke Recycling Solutions. And this firm has trained mechanics, trained by Van Dyke, and we need them to do assist with this belt replacement over a week-long period. And they were selected through 902F means because they have the experience at our facility and are trained to do so.
Thank you. Are there any comments or questions from the members? None? Is there a motion to approve Fiscal Matter 1?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Fiscal Matter 1.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Fiscal Matter 1 is passed. We will now, thank you, Mr. Walsh. We will now consider miscellaneous business. Mr. Secretary, first item.
The first item is correspondence from the administration. Whenever a contract over $25,000 is awarded by a process other than formal competitive bid, it is required that a copy of the contract be given to the county council and the nature and parties to that contract be announced by the secretary at the next legislative session following the award of the contract. There are 4 such contracts this evening. The first is with Spinello Companies in the amount of $78,025. Next is a contract with Van Dyke Baylor Corporation in the amount of $562,870. Third is with CSX Transportation Incorporated in the amount of $140,923.82. And finally, Columbia Rubber Corporation in the amount of $90,000.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
Thank you.
Next item.
Next is Resolution 1-20. This is a resolution authorizing the property tax refund for Miss Nancy Sneed, who, as a disabled veteran, is entitled to a refund under state law.
Is there a motion to approve Resolution 120?
It's my honor and privilege to move the resolution.
Second.
Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 120.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Resolution 120 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Next is Resolution 2-20, sponsored by Councilman Marks. This is a resolution to authorize the property tax refund for Ms. Dorothea Miller, who is entitled to a partial refund by virtue of being a blind person under state law.
It is my honor to move this resolution.
Is there a second? Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 220.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Resolution 2-20 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item.
Resolution 3-20 is sponsored by Councilman Crandall. This is a resolution authorizing the property tax refund for Wade Villamont, who as a disabled veteran is entitled to a refund under state law.
It's my honor to move the resolution.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Please call the roll.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Resolution 3-20 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item.
Resolution 4-20 is sponsored by Councilman Quirk. This is a resolution authorizing the property tax refund to Stanley Blackwell, who as a disabled veteran is entitled to a refund under state law.
And I'll move it.
Second.
Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 4-20.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Resolution 4-20 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Next is Resolution 5-20. This is also sponsored by Councilman Quirk. This is a resolution authorizing the property tax refund to James Butler Jr., who as a disabled veteran is entitled to a refund under state law.
I'll move it.
Second.
Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 5-20.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Resolution 5-20 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Resolution 6-20 is sponsored by Councilman Marks. This is a resolution authorizing the property tax refund to John Venny Jr., who as a disabled veteran is entitled to a refund under state law.
It's my honor to move the resolution.
Second.
Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 6-20.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Resolution 6-20 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Resolution 7-20 is sponsored by Councilwoman Bevins. This is a resolution authorizing the property tax refund to Timothy Sinkler, who as a disabled veteran is entitled to a refund under state law.
I'm honored to move it.
I'll second.
Thank you. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 7-20.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Resolution 7-20 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Resolution 8-20 is also sponsored by Councilwoman Bevins. This is a resolution to authorize the property tax refund to Michael Seidel, who as a disabled veteran is entitled to a refund under state law.
It's my honor to move it.
I'll second it.
Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 8-20.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Resolution 8-20 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Next is Resolution 9-20. This is a resolution for approval of a loan agreement with Lion Homes 3 Preservation LLC. This is a resolution for introduction only this evening.
Okay. Next item, please.
Next is Resolution 10-20. This is a resolution authorizing the approval of a payment in lieu of taxes, also known as pilot agreement, with Lion Homes 3 Preservation LLC. This is for introduction only this evening.
Okay. Next item, please.
Next is Resolution 11-20. This is a resolution to authorize approval of a payment in lieu of taxes or pilot agreement with Lion Homes 2 Preservation LLC for introduction only this evening.
Next item, please.
Next is Resolution 12-20. This is a resolution sponsored by Councilman Catch, which requests the Planning Board to review agricultural buildings and value-added for value-added agricultural purposes. This is for introduction only this evening.
Next item, please.
Resolution 13-20 is sponsored by Councilman Patoka, and this is a resolution related to the Baltimore County Agricultural Advisory Board and industrial hemp developments for introduction only this evening.
Thank you. Mr. Secretary, is there any further business to come before the council?
There is no further business, Madam Chair.
Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned. As it is customary, anyone who has signed up prior to the meeting with the secretary is allowed 3 minutes to speak. Mr. Secretary, are there any speakers signed up for this evening?
There is one speaker, Madam Chair.
We have Ruth Getz. Please come forward. Good evening and Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year. I want to congratulate Councilwoman Madam Chair Bevins, and also at the same time would like to thank Councilman Crandall for speaking out for the Republican Party and the way they are treated. Today, I want to speak about the AJC, the American Jewish Council, declared today as a Jewish Solidarity Day. At the last meeting, I mentioned the tragedy in Jersey City of Jews being killed for being Jewish. And over the holidays, Jews were once again attacked in the privacy of a rabbi's home at a party when a man entered with a machete, injured 5 people. Joseph Newman, who is 70 years old, is a father of 7. His head was sliced to his brain, and he is in a coma, and he will be permanently damaged. There were 8 attacks in 1 week in New York City, 4 of them in 48 hours. A 65-year-old man in Manhattan was punched as the assailant yelled something not nice to him. A group of teenagers attacked a man and his 6-year-old son. 3 women were slapped in the face simply because they were Jews. I personally was verbally attacked at a local bank here, and she told me she hates people like me. I did nothing to provoke her. It was the first time I was ever treated like that. We have a very large community in our county, and fortunately, we haven't had any attacks here. But with all due respect, I would like to see preventative action taken by the council stating that any type of violent hatred in our county is unacceptable and will not be tolerated. Another topic I'd like to bring up is a single vaccine is given to a 6-pound baby on his first day of life is equivalent to giving a 180-pound adult 30 vaccines on the same day. This is a quote from Dr. Boyd Haley, a professor and chair of chemistry in the University of Kentucky. California and New York states have banned medical freedom. New Jersey, right now, today, the citizens are fighting against this ban. I support medical freedom. I do not want the city or the county forcing me to do a procedure that I refuse. Currently, the medical profession must give a flu shot, receive a flu shot in order to get hired. They have lost their rights to informed consent of any health risk. I ask each of you, do you want to be forced to eat 5 slices of pizza every day? What if you don't like pizza, or you're allergic to it, or if it gives you a rash? You're required to eat it by law. What makes requiring babies and adults have shots any different? These pharmaceutical companies are the same companies who created the opioid crisis. The baby is newborn, and we don't even know how it's going to react to the chemicals injected into its body. Why must we risk health to the demands of the CDC schedule? Let me list a few ingredients. Mercury, which is toxic to the brain, aluminum, egg protein, sugars, gelatin, formaldehyde, fetal calf, and bovine serum. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Councilman Batoga?
Thank you, Madam
Sorry.
Chair. Ms. Getz, just one comment. I agree with you wholeheartedly. You and I don't always agree on everything, but I'm really you brought up this issue of a growing sentiment of anti-Semitic behavior and actions that follow acts of hatred, and I agree with you 100% that there's been an uptick that I find to be frightening. To me, it's very personal. My parents were both Holocaust survivors, so I do take this very personal, and I can assure you that, especially in the district that we both live in, which has a large percentage of members of the Jewish faith, that we work closely with Chief Hyatt to do all the things that we can to keep our community safe. But I think you're correct in being concerned and bringing this issue to our attention. And Madam Chair, if I could also just acknowledge, I was remiss in not welcoming Katie Wallington to the council. She's the daughter of our legislative aide, Ashley Wallington. So Katie, you want to wave and say hello?
Hi.
Should I say Caitlin or Katie? Okay. Well, welcome.
Councilman Katz, did
Yeah,
you have something to say?
Just a comment about the inoculations, that is something that you should bring to the attention of your state senator and delegates, that's basically, these issues are handled on the state level.
Thank you. Councilman Marks?
Yeah, I want to, Ruth, thank you very much for your comments, and Councilman Patoka, thank you for your very strong words as well, something I think that we all agree with. I just wanted to acknowledge in the audience Corey Johns, who is a member of the Recreation and Parks Board, and John Sabega, who's president of our local firefighters union. So thank you both for coming.
Anyone else? All right, thank you all for coming. Oh, yeah, Happy New Year to everyone. Thank you all for coming out tonight, and have a safe trip home.
Okay, sounds good.
That wouldn't happen to a man up here, you know that, right? Thank you. Appreciate it, thank you. Thank you. Oh, okay.